All right, so I just want to shoot a video on the ARV training, an updated video. So in the training, some of these videos are going to have some old looks to them. Some of these videos were shot years ago, and been brought to my attention that it may be a little bit confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot a video and I'm going to make it the number one startup video. But then I'm going to leave these other videos in here for ARV training because the concept is the same. It's just a different look on the MLS than on some of these other videos. And the spreadsheet has a little bit different look. We've kind of evolved the spreadsheet uh, from earlier versions of these videos. So I want to make sure I shoot a video that kind of does some ARV training on the new MLS system and the new spreadsheet. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I also want to go over the spreadsheet because it's a little bit different look than some of the others. So the template that you get is this will all be blank or have just blank formulas in there. But when you copy and paste the data in there, it automatically populates this data. And then this is what we're adding in, the ARV values, after repair value, which we'll get into that a little bit here on some of the other videos. I'm not going to dive all the way into that stuff in this video. If you watch all 5 videos, you'll understand what I'm talking about with the ARV values. But this one has really all the information you need. It has the address, which you're going to use to look up the property. It has the total square foot that we use to put in our search criteria. Here's the list price. This is what they want. This is how many days it's been on the market. This is important because if you've got 30 properties, it's important. I sort these by days on market from 1 on down because obviously these are not moving as quickly as they should be, or whatever the problem is. Maybe the property needs more work, or maybe the people aren't coming down on the price. So I'm going to prioritize those further down the list. The ones that just came on the market, we want to be on top of those right away. So those are the ones I want to shoot out offers right away on. So that way, that's why I sort this from days on market from 1 on down. Percent off. This is a new column too that you're not going to see in some of the other videos along with the days on market. So we're constantly adjusting this number. So in a shifting market, let's say we need to get more aggressive with the pricing, meaning we need to move this price up a little bit. So maybe I will drop this down to 0.20. And so you'll see that the price over here, our purchase price, will go up versus 0.22, it goes down. So this is the formula, or this is the calculation that we use to adjust our purchase price up and down from the ARV. So if you're familiar with formulas, you'll see the formula right here of what it's using. It's calculated off of this percent off number to really drive this purchase price. So that's the spreadsheet. The differences in the MLS is when you log into the MLS, you go to search, pretty much the same stuff, residential, search residential, and then you'll end up here. Some of the stuff is a little different. So they're still active, pending. This is the same as under contract, and closed is the same as sold. And these are the 3 that we're using. Coming soon, never going to use it. Withdrawn, expired, we don't really use those in looking at properties. We're always marking single family unless you're doing condos or you're doing townhouses. Don't worry about the rest of this stuff. You don't want to worry about any of this other stuff. This is where we type in the address, which I'll do that in a second. And then this is where we're going to put in our square footage. That's really the changes in the search engine. So let me go ahead and just jump into a few of these that I've done so far. So when I black these out, that's because we're really so far off on price that it's not really worth throwing out the offer. I'm not sure why I'm not throwing out. There's something else in this one I didn't like. I'll throw out an offer that's $100,000 less or $75,000 less all day long. So there was something else I didn't like about that. I can't remember what it was. This Dexter Street list price is $475. I think that was at the top of the neighborhood, so I think my ARVs were at $475. So I'm not even gonna mess with that. Again, this one I just got done doing. This one that is one of the top priced houses in the neighborhood at $439. My ARVs were at like $440, and so we're going to be offering, more than 100,000 off. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm just going to gray it out for now. You're more than welcome to do it. And throw an offer at these agents. Anything more than 100,000 off, I just haven't had a lot of luck at it, or really 125,000 off. But you're certainly welcome to throw out offers on that. So let's go ahead and jump into this right now. So I'm going to pull this spreadsheet over, because what I'm doing is I'm taking the address here, this 12302, pull this over, and I'm putting it right here. So let's do search, just clean this up. So we're going to put in 12302. That's going to pull up one match. I'm going to click on that match. That's it. That's the property I'm after, Bates. I'm going to go ahead and check it. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. I'm going to take a quick look at it. Because sometimes I'll take a quick look at it and I'll just decide, this maybe compared to what I've been throwing out offers on, I don't really want to throw out an offer on this one because it's too nice. But this one is pretty dated. So let's go ahead and jump into this. And this is going to be very similar to very kind of unique lots there. This is very similar to the other ones that we're doing. So usually I just do a square, but in this neighborhood, because it's kind of a funky area, that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to go to criteria. We're going to hit pending, closed. Now, in some of the other videos, you're gonna hear me say don't use anything more than 180 days. I'm gonna just tell you right now, we actually are now using 365 in a lot of these, so, or 360, 365. So ignore that if you see that anywhere else, because that's something that's changed in the last year. That we will now go out 360 days on the solds. So. So then anyways, we'll put that there, single family. Let's put in the square foot, which is on your spreadsheet. That's why I bring that information over. So your total square foot on this house is 2149, so 2150, roughly. So we're just doing a plus or minus range on that square foot. So let's say 1821, so let's do like 2400, and let's see how many properties we get. We got to clear the address number. Go down, we got 27 matches. That's a pretty good amount of properties. We want to be somewhere above 15 houses, really, to get a good selection of houses. And anything more than 40, 50 houses is just too many houses. And that's when you would adjust your square footage down if there's too many houses. If you don't have enough houses, just adjust it up. If you go out a little bit, you don't want to go out any more than 360. But if you have 180 there and you got plenty of houses, leave it alone. But if you need more houses, you can bump it out to 360. We're always going to comp single-family houses to other single-family houses. We're never, ever, ever going to comp single-family houses to condos or townhouses. If we're doing a condo, we're going to only look at condos. And if we're doing townhouses, we're only going to look at townhouses. When you're comping properties, you're always comping like-for-like properties. So let's go ahead and see what our matches are. So here is our property right here. So the first thing that I do is I go and I take a look. We're at 439. The very top sold is at 476. So I'll go ahead and just click down, 5 or 6 properties, 7 properties, and see what we've got. So the first thing I do is I find my property, which is right here, this Bates property at 439. So we already have one checked at 418. How did we get that? Is that how far down we went? Oh, wow. Okay, so we'll take a look at that anyways. So 439, 410. So let's go ahead and take a look at, see how this one compares. So I'm going to pause this and I'm going to look through this real fast and then come back. All right, so this is a great example of somebody that is shooting for the moon here. They've got kind of a junky, rundown house, and for whatever reason, these sellers think that their house is worth a lot more money than what it is. Maybe they'll sell it, I don't know, but I find it hard to believe. It's pretty worn down. So they got this junky house, and then, right over here, we've got a house that sold for nearly 30,000 less. That's actually a lot nicer. It's not completely rehab, but you got this, 468 over here. That's a 2-level. That's really, really nice. So, very top value on this house, I would say, is like 450. And so, being this has been on the market for a day, we're going to be offering quite a bit less on this one. You can make an offer on this if you want, but go ahead, I guess. Yeah, go ahead and make an offer on it. It's fine. It's about 100,000 less. So if you go ahead and you generate the offer, you might as well do it, I guess. So anyways, let's move on. I'm going to pause this and move into the next one. All right, so the next property is 6521. So again, we're just going to residential search, 6521. We're going down here. We've got 2 matches on this, so we're going to have to check to see what we got. So this is 6521. I'm just looking at the spreadsheet over here, 6521 109th. So this is the property we're after. Let's check it. Let's take a peek at it. Let's see what kind of condition it's in. And it looks dated. It's not horrendous, right? Just old kitchen. So yeah, let's go ahead and make an offer on this. So we're going to go up here. We're going to box this guy in. We're going to check to make sure it's not a busy street. All that, we'll get to that with your checklist. And then we're going to do pending, close, single family, and then we're going to put in our square foot, 2731. So I would just do 2,500 to 3,000. Clear the address. See how many that gives us. It gives us 10 matches. So the next thing I do is go out a year. It gives us 23 matches. Okay, let's go ahead and go into this now. Search. And go ahead and drop this down so you can look at all of them. And then here's our property. And then we're going to go to, so already we're going to see that our top value is 465. So we're just going to take a quick look at this. Where are we at? This is it right here, huh? Bates. Oh, wait. Bates is. So I'm going to pause this, take a quick look at it, so I'm not wasting your time with my thinking. All right, so I was looking at the wrong property. So anyways, this is our property, 109th. They want 430 for it. Here is a really very similar house, almost identical, and it's in really nice shape. I wouldn't say it's a fresh remodel. It's pretty darn close. It could be a fresh remodel. And those are pretty new floors. Anyways, we get it. So they tried to sell it 470. It didn't happen. It's down to, they sold it for 452. So that would mean we would be at 452. Oops, 452. There we go. So that would put our offer price around 327. Okay. So let me move on to the next one. All right. So this next property that I looked up, it's actually on a busy street. So High Street. High Street itself is not a busy street, but it's siding to Arapahoe. And if you're not sure, and you'll see this in other videos, if you're not sure it's on a busy street, just copy and paste the address, put it in Google, search it up, and take a quick look around the neighborhood, and if you just go out here to the side, you'll see how busy that one is. It's really, really busy street, and it's a whole different neighborhood. It's a whole different way to value those properties. And honestly, I just don't even mess with them because investors hate that won't buy it. So they're just a huge pain. So, anyways, that one I'm going to gray out because it was on a busy street. So we can move on to the next. All right. So next on our spreadsheet is 732 Sim Street. Type in 732 here. Pulls up two matches. Search. 732 Sims, that's the one we're after. Let's take a quick look at it so we get a picture in our mind of what we're looking at. So not bad. It's, pretty clean property. Full dated. So let's go to the map. We're going to draw our picture around it. Looks like all's well in the neighborhood, right? It's not up against any busy streets or the commercial, any of the stuff that we look for. But again, that's on the checklist. And then pending under contract, single family. And then we're doing square foot, which our square foot is 2,100. So we're going to do probably 1,800 to 400. Just usually doing a plus or minus, 2, 3, 4, 500 feet, just depending on how big the house is. The bigger the house, usually the more I go out in square foot. The smaller the house, the more I dial that square footage range closer together. But again, it's how many we're getting at. We really need to get some property. So we're at 21. I'm going to go out 360 on this one. And we got 34. Hit the search. Go over here. Drop this down to 100. Find our property. Which one did we say it was? It was... Now, this is a great example of one that I will stop and take a look because the Sims property, there's two others that are lower price in the neighborhood. So I'm definitely going to be taking a peek at this Dakota and this other Sims property. It's quite a bit cheaper. So I'll take a look at all three. A lot of times I'll download these other two and add them to my list, which I've actually did that to my spreadsheet down here below already. I found a couple in the neighborhood that I liked. Definitely keep your eye, pay attention to that. If it's up here, take a look at these ones that are lower price. So I'm going to take a quick peek at this and come back to you. All right, so back here. So these lower price houses that I checked on that list on my results. Let me just pull this up real fast in the line. Sometimes it's glitches. You just saw it happen. It wouldn't pull up the single line until I came over here and pulled this down. I don't know why it does that. It's a little glitch you got to screw with sometimes. So these two houses were they're kind of in a different neighborhood. They're kind of up here. Our target house that we're looking at on the Sims house, the 732 is right here. So I'm going to take a look at those differently than this one. So anyways, because up here you got that 410, you got that 405, and then you got a bunch of 380s, and it's just it's a lower price neighborhood. You can see it right away that you got a lot of 300s. Down here, you got a lot of 4s, 5s, 4s. So it's this neighborhood is just different. So you can just really, if you make it simple, get rid of it. So here's our property. And you got this 520, you got this 460, you got this 460. This is a great example of where a little bit of art form comes in here. So again, let's pull up our property. So we got this little brick house with a one-car garage. And I flip through these really quick. You'll get to that point. Really ugly basement, needs a lot of work. So, it's a 2,100 square foot house. This is important because we're looking at this other one. So this 520, I'm immediately going to go to that because I want to see what's going on here. And that is a little bit bigger house, and it has a 2-car garage, but it is really nice inside. So I'm starting to see that, well, maybe my value is a little less than this because we got a smaller house and a 1-car garage, right? So then we're going to continue to go to these other ones and kind of investigate here a little bit. 465. So this is a one-car garage, a little bit bigger house, 465. This isn't a fresh remodel, but it's a pretty nice updated house. How can I mean, you got black appliances, stainless steel, so not completely fresh remodel. So I'm starting to really dial in my number to be closer to this 465. Let's pull up this 460. Now this one's got a one-car garage, but then it's got this huge two-car garage over here. So looking inside, pretty darn nice inside. Not a fresh remodel, but pretty darn nice. Really nice. Recently updated. Pretty cool house. So I'm thinking that around that 460 is my mark. So that's what I'm going to offer. And you might be like, well, Brian, you know, these other two houses, well, this one's a little bit smaller, but it has that three-car garage. And this one over here was a little bit bigger. And you're like, how can you do it for 465? Because both of these weren't fresh remodels. They were really nice. And you'll really get an eye for fresh remodels because fresh remodels sell for a premium. So, yeah, this house isn't as big or has as much garage space, but when you add the freshness of that remodel, it's going to be pretty darn close to these houses right here. So 465 is going to be my mark, so I'm going to plug in 465. Gives me an offer price at 337. Still not very good here. So anyways, I'm getting up to 21 minutes on this one, so I'm going to shut this one off and maybe shoot another one tomorrow, and I'll add some updated ARV videos to our training.